I tell you what, they don't make them like they used to, and one of my favourite things to do is come and visit old workshops. Now these days, and more than ever, people are really looking to personalise their home. And one way to really set yourself apart from the rest is by the sort of furniture you bring into your home. And when it comes to being unique, you really can't go past this place, the Sawdust Bureau. So let's go chat to Brian and have a look at some of the amazing furniture these guys make.
My name's Brian Cush. I'm a furniture maker. I come from an architectural background, but I've obviously ended up in the workshop. Sawdust Bureau started about 4 years ago as a bit of an informal sort of maker's lab nearly. I still had a full-time job, so it was just somewhere to have a bit of a tinker during the evenings and weekends. And then we got a few jobs and it ended up becoming a full-time business. You do it for the love of it, and then you have to try to work out how to make that sustainable and viable. The first few years are always a struggle, but we now feel as though we're getting up to the crest.
Sawdust Bureau, looks like us. Let's go and have a look. G'day, Brian.
Hey, Ant, how you doing?
How you doing, mate?
Good to see you.
Yeah, mate, this is where it all happens.
It is, yeah. This is Sawdust Bureau.
Down the workshop, what are we working on at the moment?
So, Ant, this is our pinch bench. This is the first piece of furniture that I ever designed. It's called Pinch, because it's based on a pinched rectangular loop. So it sort of forms this narrow end, which you can conceal magazines in.
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah.
Uglier magazines, and then on the other end, you got brass rails, which the magazines hang on slots.
That's really clever.
So this version's ironbark and Vic Ash. This one's ebonized Vic Ash.
Right.
So this one, there's a whole lot more labour goes into it. It's not actually a black stain, it's a traditional ebonizing technique. So you dissolve steel wool into vinegar, just a matter of constantly putting on coats to achieve that matte black finish.
Keep going till you get that right colour, that finish.
Yeah.
A lot of work by the sounds of it.
A lot of work, yeah. Our design philosophies are they're based on our clients, really, what their needs are. So we'll bring them into the workshop, we'll sit them down, we'll talk to them about their homes, their lifestyle, their interests. They'll generally give us a pretty open brief, and we'll work on something in Sketchbook, then take it into the computer and model it up, show them some renderings of it, even look at 3D printing some models so they can take those home. But yeah, it's really just about personalising the experience and giving it a real bespoke feel to it. These are just some of our prototypes we mock up for clients just to show them different techniques. These were done for a collaboration with an Indigenous artist.
Yeah.
So putting her artwork into a timber top.
And that's sort of burnt in, or?
Yeah, that's a technique called pyrography. And this one was a Morse code message.
Morse code?
Morse code, yeah. So it's a series of dots and dashes for a client's dining table. So there's a bit of a hidden message in there that he hasn't even asked us what it means. So it's a bit of fun.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. What about this one here?
This was, again, another collaboration with an Indigenous artist. So putting brass dots in.
Yeah, right.
Using a plunge router, hammering the brass in. It's a pretty intensive process.
What are we talking in hours?
Probably a couple of hundred. It ended up 2,500 dots.
Because you're making tables out of this sort of stuff. And
yeah, this was a boardroom table.
We're looking at a sample here, but this is on a much bigger scale that you guys are doing it.
Yep. Start small, work big.
Yeah. One thing I'm noticing here is the beautiful finishes that you're getting on the actual timber, but you also do one where you burn the finish into the top.
That's right. Yeah, we sort of try to avoid using oil-based stains, so we look to other ways to apply colour onto timber. It's an old Japanese technique where you burn the timber.
Yeah, right.
It's incredibly hard wearing, so it penetrates much, much deeper than an oil.
Fantastic. I mean, the way it's brought out the brass as well it's amazing. Combining cutting-edge design techniques with expert craftsmanship is what really sets Sawdust Bureau apart. It's no surprise that Brian was awarded the 2016 Vivid Design Award for Best Furniture. Brian's ultimate goal is to produce pieces that blur the line between sculptural artwork and functional furniture. His creative methods and customisation bring a uniqueness to each piece. This is pretty cool.
This is our bright side table. So we
right.
can fully customise them to, put an image from a client, artwork. We've done them with the MCG, we've done ocean scenes, forest scenes. But yeah, it just uses a gel to transfer the print onto the timber.
Yeah, right. Look, it's bespoke furniture. It's one-off stuff. It's made to the client and it's personal.
That's what we're aiming for.
So this is where you store some of the timber that you're using to make the furniture. Whereabouts are you getting all of it?
It's from a bit of everywhere, to be honest, but the only thing that matters to us is Australian. So we don't only use Australian timbers, all eucalypts, Vic Ashes, messmates, Tassie oaks, up to the real heavy stuff, the ironbarks and the spotted gums.
Also noticing over there, is that out of an old piano?
It is, yeah. We sort of build a bit of a collection of of things that are donated to us, and then they just sit here until we find something interesting to do with it. So yeah.
Something to repurpose it
Yeah.
with.
So there's a few of the keys there as well. So it's just real ivory, so we want to make sure what we do with it is going to be pretty special. So if you know any good musician clients, we're in the hunt for one.
You can do something for them.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
I suppose we do take different elements from our pieces and incorporate them into others. We try not to really have a range where, you know, one piece looks like another piece looks like another piece, but there'll definitely be different construction elements or details that will create a language across our work. So Pinch was originally a university project for me as part of my architecture degree. We had to design that in one night. I started a class very late on and only found out the day of the class that I had to have the finished design by that day. So it was just an all-nighter with bottle of wine, sketchbook, and that's what turned out.
Right, so early stages. Time-wise, what's going to take you to put something like this together?
Our record for the original Pinch is about 37 hours.
Yeah.
The ebonizing process of this, you're looking at about 90 hours.
90 hours.
Yeah.
So it's more than double to get the ebonized.
Yeah.
Well, let's start putting this one together.
Yeah. So the Pinch bench is probably built up into 3 different processes. The first stage is the cutting and assembling of the loops. The second is the ebonizing, which is probably the most intensive. And then the third and final step is the laminating it up, sort of just the sandwich of layers all coming together.
Great, huh? Oh, fantastic.
Detail is everything, you know. It's one of the things that as an architect, you kind of had to sacrifice a bit of it as to how a builder finishes it. But because I'm designing and making it, I know exactly what each detail costs, and I can make it how I want to.
When you're making the other one that's not ebonized, do you have to be as careful with the glue?
No, you don't, because you can sand it off afterwards.
So this is all adding to the hours as well, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
Talk about attention to detail. Just notice that all these little lengths of timber here have had a taper cut put in them, and if you can see straight down the line of this, you notice it runs straight and it's got a little tail off at the end. Now they're being cut that way to help the magazines actually hang and sit right. So there's a lot of ingenuity that goes into building this furniture.
I think we like to experiment using sort of old techniques that have maybe been forgotten, trying to uncover them again, just experimenting constantly. One more step.
Well, yeah, one more step. Final icing on the cake. No shortage of clamps.
You can never have too many. Having one showpiece item of furniture, I think, can really set off a space, whether it's a dining table or a coffee table that's really fine-tuned to that space, maybe made with materials that don't appear anywhere else in the house. Can really make it a unique proposition. I think furniture is something that I came to pretty late, despite having a grandfather that had followed a similar path from architecture into furniture. But yeah, I love the creativity involved. I love the fact that at the end of the day, it's not just working in a computer, that you actually have physical process.